Hello, Divine Tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem 6, The Binding Blade, with me, Blue Ankylo. It's time to do the final chapter, Beyond the Darkness. Last episode, we killed a bunch of dragons. Today, we're going to confront the last one. I honestly think we already were at peace before King Zephiel invaded and tried to summon dragons to kill everybody. Other than to defend ourselves. Thousand years. Maybe. Well, guys, looks like we're gonna have to fight it out. Sorry, Fa. Thanks. Deke's always been amazing. Better keep an eye on Ray. So I think, like, canonically Gale was supposed to die, and then Melody would be sad, but we managed to not kill him, so maybe he'll survive in the credits. We'll see. Alright. Now is the time for truth. The Blade of Heartmut. So, yeah. You might get a different ending if someone other than Roy kills the Demon Dragon. Alright, let's do it! Epic final confrontation. We've got the mighty Idun. Don't even look at her stats, it's fine. We've got war dragons. Let's do it. I have total faith in my men. I have total faith in Roy! He's gonna do what his father could not. Eliwood, when having to fight the fire dragon, had to back off and hide because he was not strong enough. Roy is going to step up his game. I just want to test out one little thing here. No, okay, so I wasn't sure, and I was thinking last chapter, it would be really cool if you could use the hammer to repair divine stones, so that Fa would be a little bit more useful for longer. Unfortunately, that's not going to work. Alright, and you know what? Everyone else can just stay back. It's fine. Ray's got this. Roy! Man, I don't even remember this guy's name. Alright, round one. Blade of Heartmut. Now, we could probably give him some supports and stuff to make him stronger. We're not going to do that. Roy's on a mission. Sure, he's taken some damage, make no mistake. But the mighty Binding Blade shall protect him. Sure, why not get a little bit more defense? Alright, we're getting pretty close. Better heal him up. You know what? The mighty Blade of Heartmut can handle that. We could use that, but this can do it too. Alright. Actually, only heals 30, interestingly enough. Good enough. I'm sure he'll be fine. Alright, you want to fight? Roy's ready for you. Good hit, good hit. But that's your last. Back, fell beast. Where Eliwood failed, Roy has succeeded. But we did use the binding blade rather than conventional weapons. So perhaps this is not quite the end. Roy's got it. He could have come all on his own. He would have been fine. Oh good, Merlinus is saved. Yay. So as expected, load-bearing boss destroys the entire sanctuary. Now, apparently the last time Demon Dragons fought against legendary weapons, they basically halfways destroyed the world. So just destroying one sanctuary is probably a good trade. Oh, right, yes. You see, we couldn't slay her. So we got the ultimate good ending. And thus, the war known as the Disturbance of Bern was resolved. Following Bern's surrender, its government was dismantled, with the indirect support of the Kingdom of Etruria. Great, so we just created another end of World War I peace accord. Excellent. I'm sure nothing bad will ever come of it. With Roy's help, Guinevere inherited the throne, and the new Kingdom of Bern was formally established. Wasn't that just lovely? You know, for this episode, if I'd thought of it, I would have put all the characters on Cycle on the side. Sorry about that. And on the day of her ascension, so these two, you notice that their colors kind of match? Red hair, blue shirt, blue hair, red shirt. She's too old for you, Roy. Too old. Wouldn't she be next in line, though? Pretty clearly? If Zephiel has no children, she was his younger sister. There's really shouldn't be much trouble. Some uncle probably trying to steal the throne. An evil chancellor. Well, we've got our own kingdom to rule, you know? Oh, that's right, Eliwood's been sick this whole time. I wonder if he's even still alive. Oh my. They're supposed to be like 15 years old. It's fine. It's just teenager stuff. Just travel back to the desert. Why not? Yeah, he just happened to be in the desert, seeing the sights. I hope she knows how to recharge her Dragonstone, because we just took off like 2/3 of her life with that. Ah, so Idun's soul is being restored. See, the divine dragons seem to be pretty confident the dragons can express emotion, that the humans are not the only ones. Well, if there's anyone to teach her how to be normal, I guess Fa's a good choice. She had. Well, isn't that just the best? Well, there you go, guys. That's the good ending. None of this would happen if you hadn't got the legendary weapons or, you know, killed her. Why would you kill her? She's, like, barely a threat. Could have brought in Armageddon from Ray instead of Roy if I kept messing their names up. He would have just slaughtered her. Well, there you go, guys. That's Fire Emblem 6. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a recap at the end to talk about the conclusion to our various heroes, as is tradition. For the credits, I will say, overall, I enjoyed the game. I'm really glad I got to this game, seeing as I'd only ever played 7, Fire Emblem 7, which was just the prequel. So it's really nice to actually see the end of the story. So Roy returned home to rebuild the lands in Lycia that were ravaged by the war. He was always popular with the people, and was well remembered long after his tenure as Marquis Foray. I don't think this game was as good as Fire Emblem 7 in terms of balance and mechanics. It's mostly the same game, but hit rates are really low. We're missing a few spells. Promotion items were a little bit late. Less branching paths with the multiple heroes. After returning to Nabata, Fa was never heard from again. Many historians are skeptical that she even existed. What else was the main difference between those two games? Now, there is the branching Sake versus Ilia path, but it doesn't have, like, Hector mode and Eliwood mode the way 7 did. Weapon hit rates are lower. I think character growth rates are generally a bit lower. More units are viable in Fire Emblem 7 than this one, I believe, and even more so in Sacred Stones, and then future ones. Ellen returned to Bern with Guinevere to reunite a people devastated by defeat. Her undying efforts and kind-hearted nature earned her the title of the Saint of Bern, which is nice because I believe she was using the light magic tome, which was from the Saint Elmine or some such in history, if I remember correctly. So it's cool she gets sainthood, seeing as that's kind of how we used her as the light mage. Story was pretty good, a little bit loose, and it could be translation, like, you know, this is all fan translation, so maybe some things would be explained a little better with an official release, perhaps, but I think they were still fine. Scarred Tiger, ooh. Deke broke up his mercenary band and set out to travel on his own. Independent, he fought in various battles and left many tales in his wake. Also, I'm seeming to notice that they're not doing A-rank finales here like they do in future Fire Emblems, where if you get to an A-rank support or S-rank in the 3DS games, they show you a combined ending for the two characters differently than their solo endings. And I know some of the people that we've seen already definitely had A-ranks. That's kind of disappointing. But we are further back into the series, so a lot of the features we're used to in modern times, you know. Willful Lady. I did like Clarine. Clarine returned home to Aquilia and lived her life as she did before the war. Her personality never changed, but her charm earned her the admiration of her peers in the Etrurian nobility. Pretty awesome. Very happy with Clarine near the end there. Best all-rounder mage healer because she had the mobility to zoom fast and still pretty good offense, reasonable defense, and all the status stave and healing and all that bonus. Ray was maybe the most powerful magic user. Ray traveled the world studying more about magic. Through Ray's efforts, dark magic rose from obscurity and became widely studied. He was well known for being hard on both himself and others. He's supposed to be Nino's son, twinned with Luf, so it makes sense that they're pretty powerful. I looked up a bunch of the family connections between the two games. It's pretty awesome. Not everyone is got a direct descendant, but a lot. If we'd gone a different route, we actually could have recruited Bartra. Melody returned home with Guinevere to help rebuild Bern. Her unbending will and hard work earned Guinevere's due respect, and Bern began to regain its former prosperity. Well, she should be the new Wyvern General, no doubt. Her and Zeiss have to be the new Wyvern Generals. And this is, of course, Roy's origin story. So if you've seen him in Smash Brothers and all that, this is where he actually came from. Or as like a support character in Awakening or Fates, because you can DLC him in there if you want. Shin was ridiculously good. After returning to Sakai, Shin joined his newly reunited clan. He was never a talkative one, but with his leadership and skill with the bow, he became known as the new Silver Wolf, as is his due. He was the biggest surprise win, because I generally rate archers so poorly. He's perhaps the best Fire Emblem archer I've seen in ever. Just whether it was lucky level ups or just awesome base character, he seemed really good. And Su wasn't that much worse, it's just Shin stole the show as far as archery goes. And, you know, being able to use swords, we didn't do much, but it was nice to have them. The Ocean King. Geese reopened his trade routes and began to make a profit. He donated nearly all of the money he made to the Western Isles, which helped develop the land, and he became known as the Ocean King. So he was clearly the best axe guy. Because axes have such terrible hit rate in this game, you need someone with reasonably good speed and skill. And he's definitely the one for that. So that was pretty awesome. Pretty strong for the entire game. Luf built a magic school where his orphanage once stood. He took in orphans and deprived children, and taught them to use magic as a way of life. Oh good, he just makes an army of child mages. Well, that'll be the next conflict. Special thanks to all these guys. Good work, you five. Maybe you had to be in the final battle to get explained in the credits. So if you wanted to see the A rank finales, I would have had to bring like Roy and Lilina to see what they actually lived. If you have to bring them, that would kind of suck because you can only bring 8 people. So to actually see their finales, perhaps that's the only way. Because we're not seeing the whole crew, right? We're only seeing the final 10. Huh. I mean, it saves on credit time, but I'm sure you guys would like to see my other main characters that just didn't get to go to the final battle. Huh. Oh well. Super Mario Club? So it's kind of like the end of Pokemon, where you just learn about your 6 hero Pokemon, rather than, you get to see them, they get the picture taken. These were the 10 heroes. Everyone else that supported them, like Lance and Alan, totally forgotten about, ditched. Even the mighty Rutger, we never get to learn about, because, you know, he didn't fight the dragons at the end. I guess there is like 40-something units in the game, so be a lot of people to go through. So you've seen Queen Guinevere, of course, on the side with her regal outfit. Apparently there's like some trial maps in this game, and once you've beaten the game, I think 7 times, you can actually unlock her as a playable character for trial maps, which is kind of crazy. She's a very unique unit that can use like all the magic. Well, let's at least have a look at our ranking and all that. I don't think we'll win in terms of amazing speed or number of turns. You can probably pick out the maps where I may have done a little bit of arena fighting. Or just played really carefully. Look at that 4-hour map. Yikes. But we weren't speedrunning, you know, we're just trying to have fun. Wanted to make sure I got all the Gaiden chapters, and because this was my first time through, I didn't know how difficult some of the bosses would be. If you remember the other Let's Play with Fire Emblem 7, there were some near the end that we almost couldn't survive. So I was trying to play a little bit better and learn from my mistakes this time. 2 turns for finale, that's about as quick as you can do that. I guess if you had Lalum, you could dance Roy to the boss on turn 1, probably. It's kind of funny. Alright, ranks. Tactics is speed. Combat is I killed everything. Survival is everybody survived. Experience is we got lots of level ups. Funds is we have lots of money and expensive weapons. Power is I forget, but something good. So we got A rank in everything except speed, basically, which is honestly pretty typical for me on a Fire Emblem game. When I'm playing properly, I make sure that everyone lives and we have lots of money and we get lots of level ups and stuff. It's kind of min-max to a degree. Reload if someone dies. But sometimes I don't rush. I'm not a super aggro player. I figure a C in tactics is fair. I didn't get the worst, which is like an E or maybe an F. So that's a pretty good success for me. Averagely good speed, everything else perfect. And oh good, we get to see just the little shorts for everybody. So Shanna went home. She got knighted. Zeiss helped rebuild Burn. That's cool. Yeah, I guess you do have to match up A ranks for the final final battle to see their fancy ending. Because this is like the short version. Because I'm pretty sure Lilina and Roy are supposed to hook up, honestly. Just like Eliwood and the... forget her name, but the dragon dancer, you remember. Continued her training. Poor Fear. I guess Chad could work at the mage school as a cleaning guy or something. I suppose if you were translating a huge text game like this, this might be where you skip some complicated details and just keep it short and simple. So maybe these aren't the most well-rounded perhaps translations. Astor disappeared. Sue just went home. The nimble deer. Saul, well, I kind of like Saul's personality, but we only really heard him talk like once. Lot, we can just forget about. Noah, we can forget about. Trek, we can forget about. There was just too many knights and cavalier types. And unfortunately, none of them really turned out very strong for me. Good early game, but pretty weak mid-late game. Don't even look at those two. Just get rid of them. Wade, I don't care. Dorothy seemed as bad as Walt. The real Archer lovers out there are still very mad at me for never bringing a pure Archer. We never brought a pure Archer or a warrior that's a bow plus axe. Barth maybe could have turned out well if I'd tried him instead of Boars, but still terrible mobility is rough. Gonzalez, I do hear, has some of the best strength in the game and good speed, but I think Geese was just more well-rounded. And some of these people that joined late could have been valuable, like, I mean, it can look like there were some of these pre-promoted joins that actually had reasonably good stats. I think they generally have bad growths, but, you know, they might have been okay. You never know how the luck will go. I know some people train up Sophia because she's the late joiner level 1. I don't think it's worth our time. Same with these two, really. Some of these late joiners were also really easy to miss if you just didn't bring the right character. Like, Hugh would have been pretty easy. Douglas was pretty tricky. You had to get that. To get the Gaiden chapter and actually not kill him was a little bit of a trick for sure. Ah, these two are just old. They should just retire. Go disappear. But it's pretty classic for Fire Emblem to give you some late game joiners that are pretty strong, but otherwise unnecessary. We never got to see Karel get to his level 20 perfect level up, but it's fine. You got to see lots of Fa level ups, and they were almost as good. Alright, well I believe that's it for the series. Lots of fun. I don't know what's next in terms of Let's Plays for the Fire Emblem series. I probably would like to do Fire Emblem 8, the Sacred Stones, at some point. And I might think about doing another run at Fire Emblem 7 for Hector mode, because we only did Lyn and Eliwood's. And although Hector has a lot of overlap with Eliwood, it is different and a little bit harder, so that could be fun. We'll see what happens in the future, and I will eventually consider some of the newer Fire Emblems, but I'd like to get through kind of all the Game Boy Advance ones first, because they're all quite similar, you know, it's the same basic graphic animation stuff and all that. And honestly, Sacred Stones is probably tied for my favorite with Path of Radiance. I believe those are still my two favorite Fire Emblems. Yeah, I like the 3DS ones, but I think those ones were better, in my opinion. Alright, well, we'll call that a series. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed and had a good time. Maybe got to see something new if you never bothered learning how to translate a ROM before. And now you know the final story for Roy and what happens to Eliwood and all that in Fire Emblem 6. Yeah, that's the guy we never used. Oh well. See you next time, guys. Have a great day.